Hey, Sean McElroy back again with another test vehicle, and this time I've got a Kia Carnival minivan, or as I've come to like to call it, the Carnival. That's what I say anytime I walk up to it, Carnival. But when Kia came out with this body style, I've never felt like it looked much like a minivan, and because of that, I never really felt like it had much of an identity in this segment. But I had never driven one, and now that I have, kind of changing my mind a little bit. And I feel like it's changing consumers' minds as well. Last year, Kia sold about 50,000 Carnivals in the US. Not a ton, but that was about 11,000 more than it sold in 2023. And through the first quarter of this year, Carnival sales are up something like 53%. So it is starting to resonate with consumers. And here, let me show you some of the things that kind of changed my mind about this thing. And that story starts on the inside. And the first thing for me is just the interior look. I really like this color combination of that black and saddle color. And when you get in this thing, I don't know, but it just kind of feels like a minivan. I don't really know how to quantify that, but as a minivan owner myself, it just kind of feels like one. I do like the setup in here. You got nice display screens, good tech. One kind of tech piece I don't really like are the HVAC controls. They're touch, which means when you're bouncing down the road, it's kind of hard to hit exactly what you want. Another thing I'm not really the greatest fan of is the seating position. You kind of sit up high, and as a tall guy, I don't really like the view out that I get. Although I will say most people probably would have a very nice view outside of this thing. Another thing I don't really like, the engine. I gotta tell you the truth. The entire time I've kind of had this thing, I thought it was a 4-cylinder. It wasn't until today when I actually looked that I saw it's got a V6. It just does not put the power down like I want a V6 to put the power down. When you're cruising around, not really hitting the throttle too much, it just feels kind of weak almost. You've really got to dip into that throttle. It's got like 287 horsepower or something like that, so there's plenty there. You don't really feel it until you really dip into that throttle. Another sort of kind of drivability issue I'll say that I don't like is the turn signal. I know that sounds kind of weird, but most turn signals, when you just tap on them, not fully depress them, it'll click 3 times. Click, 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 and then shut off. This thing doesn't do that for some reason. Not sure if it's a setting or what, but doesn't do it. Kind of related to that, when you're going by traffic and you've passed another vehicle, this thing doesn't register that right away. And there were a couple of instances where I went to get over a lane and the vehicle thought that someone or something else was there, and it fought me the entire way. The steering wheel stiffens up. I think it even vibrates and beeps at you as well. So just kind of one of those quirky kind of issues, I'll say. Now that's kind of it for the front here. Let's hop into the back. I got a quick little thing to say there. So I don't have a whole lot to say about this rear seat area, but one thing I do like is that you can use this and kind of push the seat inward a little bit into the vehicle, so you can kind of bring the 2 center seats together a little bit more, which is kind of nice. And these captain's chairs also slide forward and backward, but what I can't find with them is like an easy flip for the seat. So if you wanted to get into the 3rd row, you actually have to climb over everything and snake your way back there. That's not too bad. I think some other vehicles are kind of that way too. But one issue for me is you see how far these screens kind of stick out from the back of the seat here. I love the screens. They're great when you got kids, but I always worry about snagging something on there and like ripping the screen off or breaking it. Just one issue that I kind of think about. Now, let's wrap this thing up here. Move to the rear. Coming to the rear of the vehicle, I kind of like this feature that I've not seen on other minivans before. Maybe they have it, I just haven't seen it. But when you come back here, let's see if this thing will do it. I was doing it yesterday. Ah, there it goes. You hear that beep? It beeps like, it almost sounds like a timer, and you think this thing might explode. But what happens is when you back away from it, You hear the beeping, kind of keep going, keep going. There we go. I think I got far enough away that it automatically shuts by itself. I will say, I didn't really like this feature at first because I didn't know what you could do to shut it off if you had to go through the center screen, but it's really easy. Open it back up, and it's just the buttons right up here that you use for normally closing it. If you see, there's one there that says auto off. Just click that. Now when we back away, the hatch just stays open. Kind of a nice little feature. So like I said, I didn't like it at first because yesterday I was getting groceries in this thing, and I think I opened the hatch 2 or 3 times before I finally saw that button, and I was kind of just annoyed with myself that I didn't see it earlier. So that kind of takes you through my little review of the Kia Carnival, as I like to call it. And I'm curious, if you were in the market for a new minivan, would you put this thing on your shopping list?